While it is not unusual to see narrow streets or tightly compacted buildings in Venice, what makes this community different is that it used to be gated. Hi, I'm Matt, and welcome to another edition of Borders on Budgets. On this episode, we will walk through the Jewish ghetto of Venice, first established over 500 years ago. Is the Jewish ghetto just for Jews. However, the rules of 500 years ago stated that there was a separation between those who practiced Judaism and the rest of the population. Beside one of the main canals in Venice is the Jewish ghetto. What sets this neighborhood apart from other residential areas is that at the time, which would be a couple centuries ago, this area was gated. While the Jewish ghetto now is a trendy neighborhood, when it was first established 500 years ago, it was the poor area of Venice, as Isaac explains.
It was so not the center, the main life that they put these foundries to be done, and that's why they put the Jews, because it was the most not pleasant place to live. It was enforced that the Jews had to be in here first of all by gates that were right here, and you see the hinges. You see the holes here. There was hinges for the doors. For the doors that were closed at sundown. Dealings with the city, which was limited to three things: being a doctor, selling shmatas, selling second-hand clothing, and obviously the main thing that was done and why the dukes wanted the Jews to come here was lending money with interest. That's the main business that was done.
While the evidence of the gates to the ghetto remain, with these hinges and the holes in the wall, the gates themselves were taken down in the early 19th century after Napoleon defeated Venice and allowed the Jews to live anywhere in the city. What is the significance of the canal and the bridge separating the two ghettos?
So this is a river, this is a canal surrounding this whole island. This is an island by itself, called the New Ghetto, which is the first ghetto in 1516. This was added on in about 1566, okay, where we're standing right now. And the newest ghetto was added on in 1644. Vuol dire quando hanno scoperto, hanno verificato questa qualità, questo delitto, in questo caso.
Just inside the gate of the Jewish ghetto, there's a plaque on the wall dated from the early 18th century stating the laws and the penalties for transgressing any curfew. Isaac explains.
Specific how the limitations on the Jews and their practice and their free lifestyle was set ahead of time by the dukes, by the rulers of Venice.
At the heart of the Jewish ghetto is the Campiello delle Scuole, the synagogue square.
This is the skyscrapers of Venice. Believe it or not, it's taller than the Duke's Palace and any other building in Venice. And it was done like that because the more Jews came, the more they had a problem of space, but they couldn't enlarge it because they had to be closed, and the limitation was here. So what they did is they started building every few years. They started adding a floor to the height. There was an amount of 5,000 Jews living in this. We could walk this whole ghetto not even 2 minutes, and in this area was the whole area.
How did the population density of the ghetto compare with other areas of Venice?
Oh, most probably it was, I could imagine 5 to 1. Here there was 5,000 Jews in this area. In other sections of Venice there was 1,000. people living in that area. As you see under, that's the only place in the ghetto that there is arches. And in Italy, to have arches called portici, it's very, very unique. It's a very special style of urban building.
Underneath the arches is the Banco Rosso, the last of the banks in the ghetto, and it is here that served as inspiration for William Shakespeare's play, The Merchant of Venice. And 500 years ago, the Jews of Venice were ghettoized into this area because it was considered the worst land in Venice. The irony is that today, the northwest section of Venice, this area, is considered the prime real estate because of its proximity to transportation routes linking to the mainland. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Borders on Budgets. A reminder, Borders on Budgets, long distance hikes, slices of life, not a lot of money. From Venice, Italy. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. While the gates to the ghetto are no longer here, they were removed at the start of the 19th century after Napoleon conquered Venice. The evidence